Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Redflex. This is the match reaction for Manchester United versus Liverpool. Finished goalless at Anfield. Lots to talk about. I've got some pretty strong views on what I've seen today. Cass, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you happy with the point?
I am, but I genuinely believe that it's 2 points dropped rather than 1 point gained.
100%.
Especially the last
100%.
20 minutes. Especially the last 20 minutes. The game was there. We had the chance. Pogba had the chance. Rashford had one or two chances where his decision making, I think, there's always a question mark. Martial again proved that I don't think he's the answer. Bruno, is it something that's more concerning long term with him? I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, we take the point, and we've still proven ourselves in terms of critics with the 0-0 result at Anfield, because I don't think we were capable of this, 12 months ago.
So, Haz, what about you? Are you in the 2 points thrown away camp as well?
100%. I had my rant at the start of the game. They set up obviously for the counter, so they were obviously set up, in that in mind. They would have been happy with the point. I think start of the game with the way they lined up. For me, that is absolutely criminal. Henderson was not tested in any way, shape, or form. One-on-one race. Let's get somebody tight up against him. Let's see if he's got the ability, the technical ability to defend. Cavani came on. Obviously, again, we just didn't. We were sitting back too much. We didn't press up high. We had Lindelof again, shocking decision. Should have been by all day long. Fred, one of the worst performances I've seen in many a year. Doesn't deserve to wear the shirt. He needs to be sold. We've got enough. We've got 14 days left in the transfer window. Let's get rid of Fred. Absolute disgusting player. Matic should have played all day long. Bruno rubbish. Rashford rubbish. Too many poor performances for me. So when you have all these type of players playing that rubbish, a point is all you're going to get.
Abdul, was it a poor performance from the players, or do you think that we just set up a bit negative? Do you agree with the statement that we went for sort of safety first, and if we nick a goal, we nick a goal, but the first thought when I saw the team sheet was, I think we're going to be happy with a draw here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we mentioned in the pre-match as well, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was more than happy with the point. He was happy to play on the counter. He was happy to nick a goal. If we were slightly braver earlier on, we would have had as much dangerous kind of opportunities like we did have in the last 20 minutes. We just didn't want to open up. And plus, as we've alluded to earlier, from especially what Harris said, Marcus Rashford, what is he playing at? How did he manage to play the full game? I have no idea. How did Fred manage to play the full game? Martial got taken off. He was a lot more dangerous than Rashford was. One thing I do have to say, though, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, very good. Luke Shaw, very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Abdul, are you sure you know what you're saying?
Redflex exclusive.
Are you sure you know what you're saying here, Abdul?
Absolutely. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, very good. Very good. In this type of game, this is you're happy to see him on the team sheet when we're going to be up against it. Mane and Salah did absolutely nothing against our fullbacks. And our two best players, well, other than I think Paul Pogba, you can clearly tell going forward he's our best player without a question. And then the two fullbacks, they were outstanding.
I agree. I think I'll probably I'll leave who I thought was good when we start going through the performances of the match. But
yeah, I mean, that's the game we should have won. But I think 100%. In terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was happy with the point. He was happy with the point at the start. I don't think he's going to say too much after the match anyway. I think he'd be happy with the point, which is a shame, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, going into the game, I was a little bit confident. I thought we could nick it. When I saw Liverpool dominating possession at the start of the game, I was like, oh, okay. Maybe
that's what you expect at Anfield. Yeah, you expect that.
I thought maybe I shouldn't have been that confident, because even though this is don't get me wrong, this was a poor Liverpool team. This defense of this Liverpool team was poor. Like, if we had anything about us, we should have tested this defense. This was absolutely disgusting. That's what makes me sad, is the fact that this makeshift championship level defense that they had, centre-back pairing, wasn't even tested in the slightest, which upset me. Even though, you know, Liverpool had 18 odd shots on goal, but they were just like me. I'm pretty rubbish at you know, Pez, and they were just doing what I do: take it down the wing and just cross it in, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. That's basically what it was. It was just sort of, let's just spam crosses in, take a few fluky shots, and that was it. There was nothing that provided nothing at all. So as much as Liverpool were poor, we did not take advantage of it. We paid him too much respect. Cass, you're at Anfield right now, I can see.
I am.
Looks like you're there.
Live from Anfield.
I got a ticket from Ole. He sent me a ticket.
VIP booth.
Yeah. So what was your mood having seen the game live?
I think it's probably one of them games where if you see the scoreline and you think it's 0-0, you think, oh, it was a terrible game. But I can't remember a game where I've been so tense. I've sweated literally everywhere that you can imagine. Every time there was an attack, each side, you know, heart in the mouth. But one thing that I would want to say is, even though the decision didn't cost us, but I can't stomach the fact that going into the biggest game of the season, somehow, I don't know why, the decision was made for Bailly to be dropped and for Pogba to play on the right wing, which is, don't get me wrong, even Pogba playing on the left wing, that is something that would be difficult for me to understand going into this game. But going on the right wing, something that he's never done in a game of this importance, it was a brave call, and I still think it wasn't the right decision. It impacted the balance of the team, and you could probably see going forwards, it impacted us. So I think we were lucky to get away with it, especially in terms of some selections, definitely a bit dodgy in my opinion.
I mean, to be fair, he's played Mata on the right before. No one's really questioned it, so I don't really see why Pogba playing on the right is
just
that
the first
much of a
time, though,
difference.
isn't it? Just first time.
Yeah, it's the first time, but then again, you know, you look at his physicality, you look at what he can do.
The main issue I've got is Pogba was spending the first half in our right back area.
The right
Why
back,
would you want
such
Pogba
a waste?
there? He's not going to track Arnold. If you're going to have someone there to track Arnold, fair enough, I understand, but it's not Pogba. It's definitely not Pogba.
I mean, for me personally, I don't think that was the biggest. That wasn't a big deal for me. It was just the fact that we didn't go with Cavani. I still feel that was really bad. When Cavani came on, I think he made a lot. I think he made an instant impact. I would have liked to have seen, like I said, Oli go for it. I think he tried to get too many of his team playing together. But Harris, what do you think? I think in hindsight, now that we can see, it should have really been Pogba Matic. Yeah.
I said that. Yeah, I was saying I've been singing Matic's praises for many a week. He's the outstanding holding midfield player that we have. I can understand why potentially you didn't want to play him, but that's his own fault. If he had Bailly in there, you know, you've got that pace, got it covered. But if you're playing Lindelof, that's why you have to go with Fred McTominay, the guys with the legs. But it's his own poor selections, and this is why sometimes he gets criticised. This was the time for Manchester United to lay down a marker, to say, hang on a minute, guys, 67 games unbeaten. We don't give a toss. We're going to go there and we're going to beat you. This was the game to do that, and mentally it would have made a massive difference. Liverpool would have just probably petered out in this league, finished fourth or something. But now, you know, they're still in it. They've got a chance. And the whole point about Pogba playing on the right not being an issue, massive issue. You had the two jokers, the two most, I can't swear live on air, they're the most poorest midfielders in the league. Fred and McTominay are the worst central midfielders in the Premier League. We need to get these facts right. They provide nothing going forward, absolute zero. There was nothing that they did in this game that showed me that they deserve to wear the Manchester United shirt. They can play against the little jobbers, the little teams, you know, the little bottom half of the table team, but against any sort of quality opposition, these two are just not in the same class as any other midfielder on any other team. Pogba in the middle would have made a massive difference. Get the ball, control it, strength, turn, pick a pass over the top, through balls, over the top. It was an absolute shocking decision to play Pogba on the right. He was playing right back. Your best player in the last game is playing right back. And Usman, you've said that's not an issue for you. I'm sorry, but you need to retract that statement right now.
No, it's not a problem. If you've never had a problem with Juan Mata playing on the right, then you shouldn't have a problem with
different game, different type of game. You play. You normally.
The reason why he was at right back, is because Liverpool dominated the ball and they played with wing backs. Their whole game is based on let's get it to Arnold, let's get it to Robertson, and get crosses in. So we
Should
were
be there then.
If they have
playing on the right,
if they have possession, that's what they're going to do. If they've got possession, that's the only place. That's the place where we got to do it. Maybe he thought, you know what, Pogba's been a bit disciplined recently. Maybe he can do it. And then when he does, if he wins the ball back, he's got quick outlet ball. I personally did not have a problem with.
If you want someone to run up and down the ring and defend and all that kind of rubbish, you stick Greenwood on there, make him do the donkey work or Rashford.
Yeah, but all Greenwood's going to do is run. But once Greenwood gets the ball, not going to do nothing. So you think, all right, when Pogba does get the ball, when he does win the ball, he's going to do something with it, because Pogba's stats when it comes to ball recoveries in the last few games have been very, very good. It's been better than McTominay. So if he's winning the ball back, as soon as he gets it, he can actually do something with it. And his diagonal balls were good today. So
yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, there was some good, but there was some time there you could tell he was on the right. He tried 2 in a row. I think there was a moment in the second half. He tried 2 passes from the right. Both went to Liverpool players. You could tell it's not his position. It's not his position. Pogba, to get the best out of him, you have to play him centrally. Everyone knows that. It's not. I agree
with that. I agree.
Rocket science. Yeah. You play him in the middle. You get the best out of him. In this game, against that team, against that shoddy defense that they put out, Pogba was the one to unlock the key. Bruno's been out of form for many a week. He should have got dragged off after 60 minutes. But obviously Pogba's got his favourites. He's got these players who are apparently now undroppable, i.e. Rashford as well. He should have went off a long time ago. Greenwood should have come on at 60, 70 minutes. It's just all poor decisions by Ole, starting with his team selection for me.
Abdul, anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm going to agree with him. I think exactly he's on point. He's on point. He's on point. Shocking. I think he's on point. I think Paul Pogba is a complete waste on the wings. I understand your point where his ball recovery is good, but that's more of a reason to put him in the middle. He wins the ball, and then he's able to do more. He can actually drive at the defence, at the 2 centre-backs, which are poor centre-backs. And as soon as we put a little bit of pressure on that team, they were completely falling apart. They were falling apart the last 20 minutes.
Thing is, as soon as you didn't play BeIN, you were gonna not play a high line. So if you're not playing a high line, where do you think Pogba's gonna get the ball from? He's gonna have to get it from the defenders who are deep, and then from there he's not driving at anyone. He's not driving at anyone from there. He's just doing his long ball. Was playing Pogba on a right wing or a left wing,
which would have been a lot better than what Fred was doing and what McTominay was doing. Nothing on the ball. Nothing on the ball.
Liverpool
Pogba plays there for France. He plays amazingly well there for France in that position.
Pogba is the type of player who can play anywhere. The fact is, yes, our midfield central 2 was poor because Liverpool's midfield just bypassed them. Thiago was picking it up off the centre backs. The other 2 were going forward. They were just all over us. Our midfield was getting bypassed. The way we were playing a lot of long ball, really, as far as I could see. It was a lot of very direct stuff. So our central midfield was getting bypassed anyway. So tactically, yes, that was a big problem. But let's go through some of the comments. MZ says, that was a good and professional performance. Give the team credit. The thing was, after the first 20 minutes, Liverpool had possession. Then we thought, maybe, let's just see how we get on here. But I agree with everyone in the sense that the last 20 minutes, it was there for the taking.
Those last 20 minutes should have been, we should have done that earlier. You would have won this game.
Yeah, 100%. Sumke says, although we drew, it felt like a loss. I completely agree with that at all. Hayan says, lots of passion from Harris today. Yeah, I agree. I've not seen this side to Harris before for a long time.
Liverpool have brought out the best of him. The real Harris has arrived.
Brought out the best of him.
Scousers.
King Zaffa says, apart from the first 8 minutes, I thought we were the better team. Luke Shaw, man of the match, shows what difference he makes. So I think we've discussed the reasons why United have been poor today. Cass, you want to kick us off with who you think was the performers for Man United?
Yeah, it's going to pain me. It's going to be painful to admit this. A lot of arguments, you could say, personally with friends. And I think Zaffa's going to love this. But Luke Shaw was brilliant, I have to admit. Luke Shaw was excellent. He provided a lot of threat down the wing. And I think the best move of the game was actually with Rashford picking it up, giving it to Shaw with a cross back to Fernandes. That was a great opportunity.
Yeah, that was great.
Probably should have scored, but straight at Alisson. I also thought Wan-Bissaka was actually decent as well, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Not only defensively, but attacking wise, he
second
did show
half
confidence.
he was good.
Yeah, he showed confidence in terms of bringing the ball out. Even though I thought Bailly should have started, I think Lindelof and Maguire, they did a job. They did very well. But I think the midfield and the attack was quite poor today. But if you actually step out of the bubble and you think that we're actually disappointed with a draw at Anfield.
I was just going to say that.
12 months ago, we would literally take that draw literally a second as soon as somebody would have offered it us. So it does show progression. It does show that we're going in the right tracks. Should we have won? Could we have won? Absolutely. But Man United are on the right tracks based on the fact that we're disappointed that we only drew at Anfield.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Harris, what about you?
I agree with that. I think Gassim summed it up quite well, the way I saw the game as well. Obviously, the defence did really well. I can't really lay blame at anyone of the back four. De Gea, as far as I can remember, I think there's only the one shot from Thiago. Can't really remember anything else. For him,
they did have 18 shots. Really, they had 18
only
shots.
A
lot of them were a lot of them were like long ranges. Yeah,
team shots.
Nothing.
Yeah, team.
I think 3 on target, and United 4 on target. So, I think they didn't really do much. But yeah, I've already said Fred McTominay.
Yeah,
disastrous. Bruno rubbish. Rashford rubbish. Martial was average.
I think AY agrees with you as well. Rashford didn't turn up. Bruno was poor. Martial was terrible. Shaw was our best player. Clear chances, didn't take advantage. This shows why we will not win the league. We'll get to that in a second. Abdul, do you agree? Luke Shaw?
Luke Shaw was great. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was good. But for me, I'm still going to give it to Paul Pogba. Even though he was out of position, as soon as he got the ball and actually had the intent to actually drive at the Liverpool defence or to create, he was the only one who was able to do anything. Bruno Fernandes completely off the boil. Rashford's completely off the boil. I think he's still got some kind of credit in the bank for what he's doing off the field, but on the field he's been absolutely shocking the last few games. Burnley was terrible. Today was absolutely awful. Martial had a few little decent things in the first half, but again, he's off the boil as well. So this was a reason, and another reason why we should have saw Greenwood come on earlier. For bringing him on for the last 3-4 minutes, what's the point?
Yeah, that was.
What's the point? What is the point of that? There's no
way.
way.
I heard the commentator at one point say that Van der Beek was warming up when there was about 20 minutes left, and I got a bit excited, but obviously that didn't work.
He wasn't going to play. That's a guarantee. Van der Beek was not.
Yeah. Rashford should have not made it through the 90 minutes. Bruno Fernandes obviously got taken off, but he should have got taken off earlier. Fred was unbelievably poor in the first 30 minutes. If that was any other manager, he actually would have been off at half-time straight away. Or even if it was Jose Mourinho, he would have took him off after 30 minutes. He was so poor. He was so poor. It was shocking. So for me, my man of the match, Paul Pogba, and then Luke Shaw, very close second, and then Aaron Wan-Bissaka after that.
Yeah, for me...
Although saying that, Maguire and Lindelof were good, I think, as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that even though Bailly didn't play, I think Lindelof had a very, very good game. The only disadvantage of Lindelof and Maguire playing together is the fact that we tend to play a very deep line.
Yeah, we weren't able to press, were we?
Yeah, we weren't able to press. So I think that part of it affected our whole structure, our whole tactics going forward. So that kind of ruined it a little bit. But individually, as an individual, I think Lindelof did very good. Especially that clearance. I think he was running towards the goal, but then the ball was cut back, but he managed to get his toe to it. So, and then I think we had a counter from there. I think Luke Shaw was very good. Like I said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, pretty much, other than one time Mane got past him. Otherwise, no
almost
danger.
a penalty as well, wasn't it?
Almost a penalty as well, yeah. But for me, definitely Luke Shaw had Mo Salah in his pocket. You know, made him look like Egyptian Jermaine Pennant. Absolutely poor from, he was. Mo Salah was so poor today.
He did nothing.
So
He had no intent to take anyone on today.
He was poor. Literally, he was as poor as Martial was. Yeah. And Mane was as poor as Rashford. That's why I'm even more. This is why I'm disappointed the most that Liverpool just didn't turn up. They had absolutely disgusting defense. Their midfield, played well, but their up front was absolute shoddy. It was, like I said, it was just like United in the bad days. That was. So they were there for the taking. We should have absolutely schooled them. So one of the comments before was, this shows why we will not win the league. So do you think it's games like this, being in the position that we were when there was 20 minutes to go, where Liverpool clearly had nothing to offer other than put, like random crosses into the box. That's all they could do, and we were just heading them away comfortably. Seeing that position in the match, do you think had we, I don't know if you want to talk about different managers or whatever, but if we were a team that was going to show intent to win the league, we'd smell blood and we'd take that. Cass, is that the kind of thing we should be doing if we want to win this league?
Look, there was, a massive, storyline coming into this game. If United win, it would show that Man United are back. 7 years of hurt. It's, a statement. Can Man United make that statement? So, with all that in mind, that was the main reason why we needed to win. Not because, if we win at Anfield, we're going to win the title. It's just kind of a statement. But I still think in the grand scheme of things, it's still a good point. We can't kind of spin it and say, it's poor, because we would have taken it if it was offered at the beginning of the game. If we go and beat Fulham, then I think personally it's a great week. We've, confirmed our status at the top. So I think it's still positive, and I'm going to stick with that.
But City, I think now, Harris, obviously you like the stats here. If City now were to win all their games in hand, do you think? Obviously, they will go top, won't they?
Yeah, by a point.
We've thrown that away now, haven't we? So this is why we should have gone for the jugular to maintain the status. But I don't know. What do you think? Good point in the grand scheme of things if you take the emotion away out of it?
The absolute minimum, I think, we would have wanted from this game. I mean, I said in the pre-match show, if Henderson plays at the back, we have to go for it. We have to go for the win. Anything but a win with Henderson at the back is going to be a little bit disappointing, and that's how it proved to be. I was right about the stats. I'm sure that's 70%, exactly what I said. Obviously, they didn't score. I was predicting a defeat for Manchester United 2-0 with the joke formation.
Yeah,
joke.
That was a great rant from you. If you've not watched that rant, please watch the pre-match.
Watch that show, guys. And so, I mean, if we beat Fulham, and then we've got Liverpool again on Sunday, 5 o'clock, Old Trafford. If we win, it is a good week. You've drawn against Liverpool in the league, you beat Fulham, and you beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. But they have to now go on and make sure that they win they win those 2 games, and then it is a good week. If they come to Old Trafford and beat us, it's not great, is it? It's not great.
Yeah. Ryan, who's watching on Twitch, said, do you think Liverpool need a midfielder? We'll probably discuss what Liverpool need. I think Liverpool it's just the way Jurgen Klopp plays. I don't think he doesn't need an amazing midfielder. He's tried that now with Thiago, sorry.
He was good today, Thiago.
They mainly just want workman-like performances. That's why they've got Wijnaldum, who's normally a very much of a creative flair player, but he's playing in a very regimented system. So them getting a world-class midfielder, I don't think would really affect them, to answer your question, Ryan. But anyway, let's move him back. Abdul, title credentials, where does that leave Man United?
What I have said and what I've maintained over the past 3-4 weeks is if United go to Anfield and put in a performance where they should have won but ended up with a draw, then yeah, I'm on that boat where I'm going to start to believe. And that's exactly what's happened today. Although we were poor, we still should have won that game. We did enough to win that game, in my opinion. And for me, that's enough of a kind of statement to make. And all the rest of the league would have been watching that, especially the last 20 minutes where we should have scored a few goals. We should have won that game. So yeah, I do believe we are going to be in the title race now. And I just feel like it's points dropped, and it's unfortunate because we had enough to win this game if all they're going to show was slightly more braver and made the right calls. He wasn't ruthless enough today, and that's his problem. That's the problem. That's going to hold us back going forward. Other managers, world-class managers, would have completely taken off players who were not performing, and that's where we need to improve, I think.
I think the mentality that United are going to show in the game in the FA Cup, because it's a one-off game, that's where we're going to see really the best of Man United, because I think that's the game where we go for it, because it's sort of winner takes all sort of thing, which is the mentality I think we should have brought to this game. But we'll really see what we can do to Liverpool. So I think if we're going to show how our team is performing, how well we're doing, I think that's the game to watch out for. But yeah, going forward, I think we've all discussed about what we've done. But what do you think for the next game, Cass? Do you think it's just kind of job done, move on, and let's just do the business against Fulham?
No, absolutely. I think if we go to Fulham, put on a performance, get the 3 points, it shows that, we ain't going nowhere. And I think that will be a statement in itself. The fact that we've gone to Liverpool, we've put a performance in. Fair enough, we should have got 3 points, but we still stay undefeated away from home in the Premier League. Go to Fulham, get the 3 points, and then you're getting to the halfway point in the season, and you always have to kind of take things long term. If somebody said to any one of us at the beginning of the season that at the halfway point, we'd be there or thereabouts, we would have taken that all day long. So I think Fulham game is equally as important. If we get those 3 points, then the title race is firmly going to have Man United involved.
Harris, do you think we need to change it around now? Has this shown, like you said before, you were very critical of the McFred pivot. Do you think that this spells the end of them in the big games?
100% for me. You can't be playing this, these sort. I mean, he's even played them at home. I mean, I know it's worked last year. It worked really well. But obviously the way we're trying to play now and the way, the other teams have kind of worked out how to kind of negate that counter attack. You need to have a bit more kind of like a bit more about you now in the middle of the park, a bit more creativity. So especially when you've got a Pogba in form. Fair enough, before there was an issue with Pogba, he wasn't in form. He was totally out of it, and you just have to accept, it's going to be Fred and McTominay. But now with Pogba in form, so he's got to play. This guy's world class, World Cup winner. If he's in form, there's not many better midfielders. But when he's not in form, obviously he's rubbish. But in form Pogba has to be in your team every single time in the middle of the park. So yeah, I mean, our next big game is going to be Liverpool, but obviously you'll probably take an opportunity to change the team. So I highly doubt you'll play his strongest team. So it'll be quite difficult to see or kind of assess what's going to happen in that game. But obviously we've got bigger tests to come after that. But the most important thing now is Fulham. Get the 3 points. And that's 4 points from 2 away games. And yeah, you take that all day.
So of those Fulham game, I think we mentioned here that Martial, Rashford, Bruno, not done very well. Do you persist with them for the Fulham game? Or do you rotate it about? I think Cavani did nice when he came on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Edison Cavani. I'm a huge fan of Paul Pogba. It's actually nice to see him getting the praise from all of you boys as well. All these are desperate now for him to play, which is great. A couple of weeks ago. No. I'm still done with Pogba. I still want him to leave. Yeah, at the end of the season. But while he's wearing the shirt, let him do the business. But after that, it's time for him to go. Because I still will never forgive him I'll never forgive his agent for coming out with those comments the night before Leipzig game, and then we went on to lose. I'll never forgive that. I can never forgive that at all. I think that was probably one of the things that kind of we were completely unsettled, I think, by that incident. But in regards to this game, I mean, I've said on many occasions in the past as well that Fred and McTominay, not for me. You can only have one of them, not both of them, because they're both just guys who are going to run, try to win the ball, and on the ball they've got no talent. So if you're going to go for someone like that, it has to be Nemanja Matic. My midfield three has always been the case. It's Matic, Pogba, Fernandes. I've always said that. I've always maintained that. That is, I think, what a lot of other people are now starting to see. That is our kind of best three in the middle, and that's what we'd like to see. But in regards to your question, against Fulham, I think Solskjaer will continue because he has his favourites, and we all know he's not ruthless enough, especially with Fernandes. He's not in form, so he has to be benched, in my opinion. Donny van de Beek against Fulham, why not? Why not? And then against Liverpool, the game after FA Cup, why not? Let's see what he can do. Let's give him a run of games, because if Fernandes is not in form, I would love to see Donny van de Beek play. And there's no reason he can't do any worse than what Bruno Fernandes is doing at the moment, anyway. Yeah. So there's no risk, because he'll do at the very least he'll do as bad as what Fernandes is doing the last couple of games. I mean, although with Fernandes he is involved in a lot of goals, so he does have those key moments. But at the moment he's just completely off the ball. And also I want to see Marcus Rashford completely dropped from the squad. He's just not with it. I think his off the field kind of excursions is now kind of, I think it's kind of affecting him, because he's doing too much off the field for me.
Strong words from Abdul as well there. To be fair, I think going forward against teams that are playing the low block, I'd want to see us just throw everyone on, because like I was saying before about the stats, Pogba's ball recovery stats are really, really good, as are Donny van de Beek's. So Bruno, Pogba, Van de Beek, I personally think in certain games,
I would love to see those three together.
I think it could work, you know. Andrik says Rashford was selfish and wasteful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He should have passed it. He should have passed that ball to Cavani the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Or even to Paul Pogba was free as well. That was poor. Very poor.
He also says he agrees with the majority of us. Sure, man of the match. Pogba, so great. But on the right, it's like half a Pogba. I think he agrees with you all there. Yeah. And also Fred has to improve his forward passing. Fred and
passing in general.
Yeah. Fred and McTominay completely bypassed. It was a bit unfortunate to see, to be honest. But I think we've had a good rant here today. But like I said, like Qasim alluded to, I think it shows how far we've come, that we can criticize Man United for a 0-0 against Liverpool. Yes, I agree. We would have bitten your hand off 12 months ago. Liverpool are a lot worse than they were 12 months ago, and now we're a lot better than we were 12 months ago. So I think it sort of averaged itself out. But has anyone got any last comments before we go? Cass, you look like you got something to say. Tip of your tongue there.
Anfield.
I was just going to say, for everyone that's watching, make sure you just stick around. We've got more match reaction. We've got Global Fan Cam coming up. So a lot more to look forward to, where we dissect this game in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned. Obviously, if you haven't already, like the stream before you go, leave a comment, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, stay tuned. Got a lot of content coming up, Global Fan Cams, and a few special guests coming up very soon. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you shortly. Goodbye.